I figured I'd go ahead and start her off proper with an interesting beverage from our friends over at Branching Out Bottle Shop. This one I didn't put up a vote for this. I'm not letting anybody vote on this. This one's for me. I want something different. I want something interesting. So I'm grabbing some. Oh boy, crispy season. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Crispy season. Uh, that or it's just almost incomprehensible because they got so obsessed with the like bad attempt at a Japanese font that they forgot to put all of the letters in. I'm not sure what the plan was here, but this is Upstate Brewing Company, and it's a Japanese style rice lager, which I thought would be just a welcome change of pace at this point. I've done IPAs out the wazoo. I've done dark ales and brandy wines out the wazoo. And don't get me wrong, I still love me some brandy wines. But I feel like if I'm doing a review of this kind of beer over and over and over again, probably not all that interesting to watch. And for me, I still like drinking them, but I don't know. I mean, like, well, I'm doing them on the stream. Like, that's the point. So to try to share something new and interesting with you. And if I keep using the same three descriptive words in my vocabulary, I don't feel like that's really a good. Well, I don't think it's not. It's no fun. So I'm going to do something different, and we're going to have a Japanese style rice lager. There is no further description on the can. There's just some bamboo leaves etched in there. It's pretty packaging. It's simple packaging, but it's pretty. And well, that's sort of the Japanese aesthetic, or at least the old-fashioned traditional Japanese aesthetic, is simple, clean, and pretty. In fact, their word kirei, which is their word for pretty, is also their word for clean. Not surprisingly, they started bathing a long time before the Europeans. Fun fact. Let's go ahead and... Oh, hang on a second. I don't even have my mic. I like to have my mic kind of in the shot so you guys can, you know. Is that going to be too foamy? Did I pour it too hard? It's very clear. It's very light. It's very... Well, it's because I've got a whole bunch of wacky lights going on in here. I feel like that's throwing the tone off to some extent. Like there's a bluish tint coming off of my TV, and this is a yellowish beverage, which is making it look almost greenish. For me, I'm looking at the screen that you're looking at, and I'm not getting that same vibe. So that's good news, because green's not helping it. But it does have kind of a coconut water thing going on, as far as the coloration goes. It looks like it's very, very light, and it looks like it's very thin and watery. So, it should be nice and hydrating. Let's go ahead and have a sniff. Huh, just smells like a lager. I'm not really picking up... No, there's something else going on in there. What is that? It's an almost sour kind of flavor, but sweet at the same time. A yeasty kind of a thing going on there. Yeah, that doesn't... It smells like a lager, but it also smells a little different. I don't know. I'm curious. Genuinely curious. And I love all the fizz when I pour it in there. There's like so much activity. But let's go ahead and try that out. That's very different. That doesn't taste like a lager at all. It smells like a lager. It does not taste like one. It's thin and watery. There's almost a lemony... I taste rice. I just cooked a pot of rice the other day. Indigo and I were doing a tomato and coconut milk dish over rice, and a lot of times when I cook rice, I like to just eat some plain rice. I guess that makes me a weird dude. Um, but yeah, it definitely has like a there's a ricey thing going on in there. It's kind of a sweet thing. What is that? There's a like a lemony zip. I'm trying to place that. And then at the tail end, that's when you taste the rice. So up front, no rice at all. It's kind of grassy, kind of. What is that tang? Where have I had that before? Is that like a lemongrass thing going on in there, or this is baffling to me because it's so light. It's so it's such a delicate flavor when when I take a sip off of that. Like the first flavor that hits me, there's this zip. It's got a little bit of an acidic quality going on, um, like a mild, a hint of vinegar, but not exactly. It's almost like it's a vaguely briny quality, but I that sounds deeply unappetizing to me, and it isn't. I like the zing on the front end. I'm just trying to place what I've ever tasted before that tasted like that. And I'm thinking lemons or limes. It's vaguely citrusy, it's vaguely sour. Um some sort of fruit, but a very gentle one. And then yeah, I would say it's almost like a little bit of a lemon zest or a lime zest in there. And then you wait for a second and you breathe, and that's when the rice flavor hits. So it's like a lemon, a lightly citrusy lager, very thin, very watery, very refreshing, and then this this soft rice flavor that goes from being like a high up here kind of note, like a low comforting kind of note, almost like rice milk, if you've ever had that. Fascinating. Well, I wanted something different, and I got it. This crispy season is actually really like that. Really like that a lot. I 10 out of 10 would crispy season again. No, I think I would recommend this. I would say this is definitely worth a try. I could easily down this whole glass right now. Probably not going to be a problem for me either, as it's, well, 4.8. Yeah, okay. 4.8 is, that's not low. That's not a Bud Light, but it's not, that ain't touching the upper regions of where we've been on this channel. So that's a pretty easygoing drink. And I'd say definitely worth a look. Babe, do you want to try some?
I'm busy over here.
It's too busy. She's cooking, and I feel bad that she's in the other room cooking, and I'm in here streaming. But I'm trying to keep a steady schedule, and I skipped last Sunday because of the whole. Well, I just felt like crap after spending 8 hours at a busy electronics store. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But I'm doing it this week because I'm genuinely trying to keep to a schedule. So, easy light drinking.